ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Srikanth, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bangalore, and we have a power-packed lineup for you over the next 20 minutes.
Krishna Kumar coming to you live from ET Now's Mumbai studios. First up, a check on all the headlines here at ET Now Startup Central. The fight for wallet share between Uber and Ola got more intense today after Uber slashed fares in non-metro Indian cities. Prices have been slashed by up to 22%. Flipkart's Vice President of Electronics, Adarsh Menon, says that the e-commerce marketplace is betting big on the increasing usage of smartphones in the country. He also says that they are not banking on discounts going forward. On our special segment, Budding Star, we feature fitness startup GOQii and their strategies going forward after having roped in former Senior Vice President Amit Singhal onto their board of directors. And on our special segment, Decode, Sachin Gupta from Hack Earth decodes what hackathons are all about.
Krishna, the last few weeks we've been talking about how there's more sanity in the startup space, in the unicorn space, that perhaps cash burn is behind us. But guess what? The price war is back, and we are talking about the cab aggregator space and Uber in particular. I'm sure you have more details.
Absolutely, Chandra. These are actually details which can come as sweet poetry to all of us who are now almost dependent upon these cab aggregators for our daily commute. The fight for wallet share between Uber and Ola just got more intense today after Uber slashed fares in non-metro Indian cities, while Uber Go prices have been slashed by up to 22% in some cities. It's important to remember here that the percentage varies based on each city. While it's brought down its base fare from 40 rupees to 25 rupees in Udaipur and Jodhpur, the per kilometer charge has been reduced to 7 rupees from 8 rupees. This is, of course, in direct response to the ground that Ola Micro has been gaining in the last few weeks, through which it offers rides for as less as 6 rupees per kilometer. Ola Micro is currently present in 27 cities. Back to you, Chandra, in Bengaluru.
Krishna, I'm eternally thankful to all the hedge funds, VCs, Ps funding Ola and Uber, because I don't know what we would do if they don't subsidize our rides every single day. So here's a big thank you to all of them, and may the price wars go on, because customers ultimately benefit from this. But moving on from this to the billion-dollar baby on our show today, and we're of course talking about Flipkart, India's largest e-tailer, and their bet on smartphones, because remember, this is their largest selling category. What are they really going to do to take this beyond metros to smaller cities? Rahul Dama caught up with Flipkart's head for electronics and auto, Adarsh Menon, to find out. Let's listen in.
As you know, India is now the second largest smartphone market in the world, right? And with the growth that we are seeing, we believe this category is very, very important for us, not just now, but going forward as well. And we want to make sure that through this category, we add serious value to all the brands that retail on our platform and to our consumers as well. And that's the outlook for us for this category.
All right. Also, the segment as such is driven by the discounting model, but with now focus being on unit economics and cash burn really coming into question, going forward, would there be a clampdown on discounts as far as mobile phones are concerned, because it's a huge chunk of the market there?
Yeah. So the focus actually is not on discounting, but to give genuine value to our consumers and to give genuine value to our brands. And as long as we stay core with that philosophy, we believe that we'll be in a very good place to win in this particular market.
All right. Also, the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, an exciting opportunity at that. Take us through some sort of a trend there, wherein, are you seeing a large number of people from these tier 2 and tier 3 cities actually coming out? Because, we as in India, we are a smartphone generation, people directly actually hopping into and buying a smartphone there.
Yes, absolutely. So one very clear and distinct trend that we are seeing is that the percentage business that's coming from tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 markets for us has been on the rise. I think the event that we did last year, the Big Billion Day event that we did last year in October, that's what really spurred a lot of demand coming in from tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 markets. So if you talk about percentage contribution of business, about more than half of our business used to come from just the top metro cities before September, October last year, and post-October, we saw a lot of consumers in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 markets shop on Flipkart and become
Special segment Budding Star, where we feature a fitness startup today that is making all the waves, Chandra, after roping in former Senior Vice President of Google, Amit Singhal, onto its board of directors. We are indeed talking about GOQii, of course, and we have founder and CEO Vishal Gondal joining us here on ATN South Central. Vishal, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Tell us, Amit Singhal joined your board last week in what is his first major role after quitting Google. While Singhal is one of your early investors, how will his being as a board member help GOQii going forward?
So GOQii's vision is to marry data with analytics and a human element of coaching. What we know is that people who use fitness devices or fitness apps are not getting fit at all. The reason is that most of these people stop engaging in a matter of days or weeks. However, at GOQii, our unique service, which is a human coach, makes all the difference and helps people change their lifestyle. So essentially, we are a big data play, but the difference of GOQii is we combine the big data, artificial intelligence with a human, which is a fitness coach, and which is how we are delivering effectiveness. So when Amit, somebody like Amit, who has worked on data all his life, he is a PhD in data science and possibly an authority in the subject. When he learned more and more about how we are using data, that excited him, and I think that definitely was a big decision behind big reason behind getting Amit on board. And I think the other clear thing for us is that we need to build a board which is diverse, which gets us all kinds of strategic inputs. So we now have a board which comprises of Cheetah from China, we have NEA, we have Amit, we have Praveen Gandhi, who's again a very, very well-known entrepreneur and investor. So it's a board which really helps and guides us to use data at the core of the service of GOQii and move forward.
Vishal, you outlined some very high-profile names, and not just your board, even some of your investors are quite high-profile, from Google, WhatsApp, Dell. How do you really manage expectations of all these diverse people, while staying true to the vision that you started out with at GOQii?
So I think the good thing is that we did not go to the traditional investors and angels to raise venture capital or angel capital for GOQii. We went to people who could contribute and help us take GOQii to the next level. So each one of, whether you look at our angel or investor, core believed in the story and have come for the long term. And which is why for us, going to an investor is almost like pitching to a potential team member of GOQii. So all of these people have bought into the vision of what we are doing, and they believe that a combination of data and humans are going to make a big difference in the world. So this was not just going to anybody with money to put money in GOQii, but really picking and choosing the right set of partners.
All right, Vishal, you often say that GOQii is different because it has a human coach to help people track fitness. It's not just a product, it's a product plus a service. But if you have to measure its effectiveness in terms of metrics, what would they be? Would, say, time spent per user count?
Yeah, the core metric for GOQii is engagement. And when I talk about engagement, I talk about people actually chatting with their coaches. So we are tracking the number of conversations which are happening on our platform. And the beauty of GOQii is we now have enough data to tell you that if you engage with the coach X number of times a month, you are more likely to hit your fitness goals, and you are more likely to lose weight or get fit or run a marathon. So we are using data science to determine conversations, we are determining quality of conversations, and we are also determining outcomes from these conversations. So our goal is to eventually, based on just a few conversations, our AI should be able to determine that Vishal or Mahesh or Amit are going to be more likely to meet their goal, or they are not likely to meet their goal, and what kind of conversations we can do to motivate them to further improve their performance. So the core metric for us is not GMV or any of that. It is conversations and engagement.
Vishal, all that's fine, but what would you say to critics who say that the amount that I spend for subscription on these coaches on GOQii every month, I mean, if I hit the gym spending that money, it might be more effective, because how much is a third-party coach going to know at the end of the day about me, what my routine is, what my body type is? There's only so much he can determine. How would you counter that?
No, absolutely. I mean, the gym is far, far expensive. A GOQii membership today is on an average of 250 rupees a month. Almost for a year, you would end up paying about 2,500–3,000 rupees. That is far cheaper than a gym. But actually, forget about far cheaper than a gym. The question is of effectiveness. Most people who pay money don't end up going to the gym. So the gym membership model is based on the fact that you don't use the membership. That's how the gym business model works. But for GOQii, our core model is how much you engage, how much you meet the goals. And by the way, the beauty is a huge percentage of users who are engaged renew their subscription and continue on GOQii. So our model is a service model. Remember that. It is a subscription service. People come on the service, meet their goals, renew and continue on the service, which is what is making the big difference.
Vishal, talking about competition and critics, how do you ensure that your design and user interface is right up there alongside the likes of Jawbone and Fitbit? Because design is also a crucial element when it comes to wearables, isn't it?
I mean, the great news is we are outselling all of the major providers in India already in terms of numbers. If you go to Amazon, which is one of the best marketplaces, you will see us listed as the best seller. Also, if you look at the product reviews, our average ratings are higher than a Fitbit, because we know exactly what the Indian consumer wants. We know the requirement and we know what is the sweet price point. So today, for other devices, the price point is very low, very high. Having said that, as I mentioned, we are not necessarily competing on the hardware space. In fact, we have an open hardware architecture. You could in fact use a Fitbit or a Jawbone with GOQii platform. So we don't necessarily compete with them, we complement them. In fact, we also support them. Our business is the business of coaching and helping you meet your goals. So that is our core business. Hardware is something we just give away for free, and in the future we may even discontinue hardware and just in markets, for example the US, which we'll be launching later this year as a commercial service. You don't even need the band. You can just connect your phone or any tracker and work with the GOQii coach.
Finally, Vishal, if we meet you a year down the line, what would your goals and tractions be at that point of time? I mean, where would you want to see GOQii from here to there?
So I would say that what you just saw of GOQii is just the tip of the iceberg. We've been able to use fitness coaching and help people make a lifestyle change. However, I think the applications of GOQii are immense. So you are soon going to see us disrupting the healthcare space and also potentially the insurance space based on all the data we have. So I think the way GOQii is going to move forward is going to be looking at a lot of interesting verticals, and with all the data we have, we are going to see how we can work on an entire ecosystem to manage your health. And as you recently know, we also tied up with Axis Bank, and we'll be launching India's, actually possibly the region's first NFC enabled band. We've got the GOQii band certified by MasterCard. So in a matter of months, you can just go into a Starbucks or any shop, and instead of using a card or any other payment method, you can just touch your GOQii band onto a NFC terminal and make a payment. So that is also going to be a big breakthrough, which we'll be introducing later this year.
All right, Vishal, on that note, it's time to say goodbye and I'll let you go. But thank you for taking time out to be with us here on ET Now Startup Central. Vishal Gondal, founder and CEO of GOQii. But on that note, we are slipping into a short break here on ET Now Startup Central, Chandra. But coming up on the other side of this break, our special segment, Decode, where Sachin Gupta from Hacker Earth decodes what hackathons are all about. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching ET Now Startup Central. Time now for our second special segment of the day, Decode, where an expert voice helps us demystify a buzzword in the world of startups. And today we have Sachin Gupta of Hacker Earth decoding what a hackathon is all about. Listen in.
So according to me, hackathon is just two words. It's creative problem solving. So actually three words, but creative problem solving. It's a place where developers get together, pick up a problem that they want to solve. There's a timer running, there's a lot of innovation happening, and they build prototypes to solve that problem. So it's about getting programmers into a constrained environment and asking them to solve creative problems which they would not be able to solve in their mundane routine. So that's what a hackathon is. It's all about creative problem solving.
Krishna, a lot of misconceptions around hackathons, but we certainly hope that cleared things up a bit. But moving to our final segment of the day, which is number crunch, and the number we are crunching for you today is 2.4 trillion cubic meters. Now that looks like a humongous sum. Believe it or not, that's the minimum rainfall that India gets even in the worst drought year. Which is pretty much what we get even when there is minimum rainfall, but 90% of that goes away because of reasons such as evaporation. It goes off to sea, and because we haven't really evolved good methods of harvesting and conserving this water. Now this number, Krishna, is coming at a time when we are fighting over some tens of millions of liters of water for the IPL. Now that's certainly a justifiable cause. I'm not justifying IPL, but imagine the amount of water loss every year. I mean, the IPL is just minuscule compared to the way water is lost. Perhaps, we'll have to look at ways in which we can conserve and harvest water better, because just moving the IPL out of a city is certainly not going to help.
Absolutely, Chandra. That number puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? But I'll tell you what, the IPL, Watergate crisis, if not anything, has woken people up to this basic necessity called water, and how we're not doing much to conserve it. Very few do rainwater harvesting in this country. A minuscule portion of this country actually does rainwater harvesting. When we do end up wasting that much of water, shifting IPL out or not, I think it's time we wake up and start taking measures to conserve all the rainfall we get, so that the farmers who put the food on our tables get to lead stress-free lives, and for their welfare at least. Let's start thinking and doing, more importantly, right now. On that note, we wrap things up here on this edition of ET Now Startup Central. But don't go anywhere, keep watching ET Now, and lots of news and updates coming up on the other side.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.